We've all seen those architectural digest videos. They're immaculate. And the local project, a personal favorite, is really good too. But aside from all the fancy editing and the 4K footage, what draws us in is the aesthetic interior design of everything. But in this video, I want to go over the basics to improve your living, whether it be in an apartment or a home, using principles guided by science and neuroaesthetic design. We spend 90% of our time indoors, and most of us are working from home. So our space now has to serve multiple purposes, with perhaps relaxation and de-stressing coming at number one. So I hope these takeaways will provide a helpful guide in redesigning your space, and resources will be linked in the description below. My mom always used to say that my room looked like a tornado ran through it, and she was right, because it was a dumpster fire back then. Cluttered and disorganized space is chaotic. Chaos is the opposite of what we want. In fact, a study in Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin demonstrated that individuals with perceptions of their home as cluttered or unfinished reported higher levels of cortisol, more fatigue, and depressed mood. I mean, that makes sense. Who wants to come home to a mess of a house? Our home is meant to be a place to decompress and recharge. So like what Marie Kondo said, if it doesn't spark joy, throw that shit out. Spend a weekend to declutter and maybe tackle one room at a time. A good rule of thumb is that if you haven't used it in a year, you probably don't need it. And if it's something you can't finish in one sitting, break it up into chunks and hide the rest for later. Out of sight is truly out of mind. Another question to ask yourself while you're doing this is, does it fit? Does the item in question somehow match at least 2 other items that you already have or are planning to keep? Cohesion and coherence are big parts of a space that has harmony and balance. And our brains are highly adept at picking out things that don't fit. So if it doesn't belong, say so long. We are evolutionarily wired to prefer natural spaces. It helps to improve cognition, creativity, and overall happiness. That's why we are seeing a shift with more and more spaces blurring the boundary between outside and inside. We now see more aspects of bringing elements of outside and nature inside. And obviously, light is a big part of that. Yeah, that'll do. Studies show that natural lighting can actually increase performance and improve well-being. And even if you can't get natural lighting, investing in lamps or ambient lighting is a great way to get at those by instantly making the space more relaxing, hence the term mood lighting. Additionally, plants are a great way of bringing nature inside, as you may know. And if you're not really a plant person, fake plants work just as well, just without the air purification quality. Just make sure it looks realistic, I guess, so it doesn't become an eyesore. And actually, images or sounds of nature can be powerful ways of reducing stress and improving mood. In fact, the surrounding elements of where you live can be brought inside. For example, if you live near a mountain range, let's say, bringing those textures and colors inside can actually break down the barrier between outside and inside. And because there's that constancy or consistency, you feel safer. Color and how it affects us has intrigued researchers for decades. And despite knowing facts that our cones are most sensitive to wavelengths at 555 nanometers, which is a yellowish green, there is no universal guide to which color is best for which setting. There are a complex set of responses and experiences, including genetics, associations, culture, trends, and our personal experiences that shape our perceptions of different colors. What may work for one group of people may not work for another group of people. However, blue spaces and green spaces have been shown by some metrics to be restorative, representing water and nature. Blue and green speak to our evolutionary and biological roots. And what may be more helpful in choosing the right color is determining the warmth or coolness of the whole space and sticking with that theme. Usually, warm colors are associated with warmth all the way to anger, while cool colors are associated with calmness all the way to sadness. Alternatively, you could opt for a themed set of colors that follow categories like complementary or analogous. But the science behind color theory is still ongoing, so feel free to experiment. And this principle is more open to interpretation than the other four. Your place just can't look nice. It has to smell and feel just as nice. And smell and scent is a powerful way to boost mood. The candle business is booming because I don't know how many candles we have burned through. And though many of the studies on aromatherapy are flawed, recent meta-analysis indicate that some essential oils like bergamot can reduce levels of anxiety. But more importantly, choose the scent that you have a connection with. Nostalgia can also be an important factor in achieving better physical health. And of the five senses, touch is probably the one with the most stimulation, because at the end of the day, we experience so many textures. So that may mean investing in some good quality pillows and bed sets. Treat yourself to that blanket. And don't underestimate the power of rugs. Curved surfaces have also been shown to evoke more emotions of pleasure, safety, privacy, and relaxation. And if your space is just giving bleh energy, maybe a mirror can add some spark. In addition to adding light into the space, it adds a sense of dynamicism. Woods and furs can add that natural biophilic texture. Textures and materials are really the finishing touches, the cherry on top. But they really do make a difference when you spend time in them. Taking care of your space is an art in of itself, an art of self-care. And by beautifying your surroundings and living area, you can begin to beautify other parts of your life. It becomes a practice. And over time, you hone your aesthetic eye. You determine what is beautiful and what is not beautiful based on your personal preferences. And this can evolve over time. Honestly, I think this is the funnest part. You get to discover who you are and showcase that in your decor, or gallery, or collection. Which brings me to the last bit. Ultimately, the socialization aspect of it asks us, what purpose do you want your space to serve? Is it to hang out with friends, to get away from everything and just rest, to inspire and motivate you? Whatever it is, that will be your guiding star. And even if it conflicts with some of the other principles, it's all a process and it'll work out in the end by applying the principles together in a holistic manner. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you found this helpful in bringing some beauty into your living spaces. I definitely plan to make more videos on the topic of neuro art and neuroaesthetics in the future. So if that's something you're into, definitely subscribe. Or if you recently redesigned your space using some of the principles in this video, feel free to comment and DM me. I would love to see it. Alrighty, ciao!